Do you know what is the most recycled material in this world? It starts with a spectacular firework and it transforms model civilization. At ArcelorMittal Tabasco, we like to call it the fabric of life. Good evening, friends. I am Samia Jahan, and today I'm going to talk about what it takes to make steel. So, first, let me talk a little bit about what is steel. So this is the most common alloy in the world that contains about 2% of carbon, and the remaining is mostly iron. It is also the most recycled material in the world, and it is used in so many different ways. To categorize the main usage of it, it could be construction, transportation, energy sector, packaging, appliances, and industry, such in pumps and parts and other stuff. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about the history of steelmaking. Believe it or not, as early as 6000 BC, the historians believe that the ancient Egyptians they knew about steel. It was considered as a gift of God because the way they found it was in meteorites. So it would fall from the sky, and they would think that it is a gift from God because it had such amazing properties. Um, and then the actual invention of steel was around 1300 BC. It is believed that the Turkish they knew about steel, and it was kept very much a secret because of its amazing properties and its use in arms and tools. Around the 18th century, it was the Swedish civilization who started to investigate on the systematic approach of manufacturing steel. It is claimed that in 1850, a British gentleman came up with the mass manufacturing technique of steelmaking. Fast forwarding 250 years from then, today, steelmaking is as much of an art as it is a science. So let's see how steel is made. So there's basically 6 little steps that I shouldn't say little, they are huge steps, but to make it easy, there are 6 steps of steel making, and I'm gonna walk you through each one of them. The first part is called the iron making. So from iron ores, coke, which is basically refined coal, and limestone is mixed in a blast furnace, and then oxygen is introduced to get rid of impurities, and we heat it up, and as a result, you get liquid steel. So there's another way of producing iron, which is then called the electric arc furnace. In this process, what we do is there's scrap, which is basically recycled steel, whatever people it doesn't use anymore, leftover from construction, broken cars, really everything. It gets thrown into the electric arc furnace, also with some iron ores and again coal. And what happens is again the impurity is reduced and you have pure liquid steel. And the next step is called continuous casting. It is casting, so what happens is this huge ladle, we call this pot a ladle of liquid steel, it gets poured into tundish, and as you pour it, it starts getting cooled and it forms into metal, solid metal. After that, there's basically 2 major processing. One is hot rolling and one is cold rolling. So in hot rolling, what happens is the slabs that you just casted, they're tons and tons in weight, and they're huge. So to really use anything, any steel product, you have to actually compress it down to sheets. We call them sheets. So to produce sheet metals, you have to roll this really, really thick, tons of tons in weight of these slabs into we call them coils, and they're really thin. There, it could be even paper thin, the ones you find in your tin cans and your all the metal containers, to construction materials, or pipes or bars or reinforcement, auto body parts, to get from that big bar or billet to what the formability of your product. Steel is giving a lot of properties such as coating, treatments as annealing, galvanization, you name it. It all depends on the application of it. And there we go. Now you know how to make steel. I know this is an online presentation, but if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. And thank you very much for listening to me.